Savile Row is considered to be the Mecca of classic menswear and the pinnacle of bespoke British tailoring. It is synonymous with wealth, success and tradition. It is the go-to place to acquire the finest suits in London, where the elites and the cream of the crop of society often go to get kitted out. For nearly 3 centuries, kings, generals, prime ministers and other people of notable stature had sought out the bespoke services of the esteemed tailors from this famous West London street. So what makes a Savile Row suit so special, and why is there such a premium placed upon their garments? Savile Row has long been associated with high quality, luxury and elitism. Initially starting out as a few shops providing hunting and riding wear to the establishment, it grew into a greater network of highly skilled, talented and dynamic tailors that have successfully transformed their trade to cater to both the civilian and military tailoring needs of the country and far beyond. The high level of craftsmanship, expertise and finesse that go into creating an individual Savile Row garment has been well documented, using specialised methods and techniques that have been perfected over the course of centuries. Far from being just a place where the rich and famous go to buy fancy suits, Savile Row has become both a cultural and historical institution. It is the birthplace of the modern-day dinner suit or tuxedo, home of the famous English drape cut, and the site of the last ever recorded group performance of the Beatles. More recently, it serves as a backdrop and inspiration for the British spy film franchise, The Kingsman. Although many of the bespoke commissions from Savile Row often go unseen, some of the more unique garments associated with distinguished or high-profile customers go on to feature inside exhibitions, museums and newspaper articles, and are discussed several years or even decades later. Here is my list of the top 10 most iconic and memorable suits made on Savile Row. Number 10 on my list of the most memorable and iconic suits made on Savile Row is the outfit worn by Daniel Craig whilst attending the film premiere for No Time to Die at the Royal Albert Hall. For his last ever performance as James Bond, Daniel Craig was determined to go out with a bang, and captured the media attention with a bright pink velvet dinner jacket made by Anderson & Shepherd with the fabric supplied by Savile. He paired this dinner jacket with tuxedo trousers he had commissioned earlier from Henry Paul, and had completed his all-English attire with a crisp tuxedo shirt from Turnbull & Asser and painted leather Oxfords from Crockett & Jones. Number 9 on my list is the military uniform worn by Prince Harry during his wedding in 2018. This military frock coat, produced by Deacon Skinner, is the uniform of the Blues and Royals Regiment. Deacon Skinner has a long history in military tailoring and is one of the few tailoring houses entrusted with the responsibility of producing military uniforms for the British royal family. The uniform, with all of its intricate braiding, took more than 100 hours to complete by hand stitching and was reminiscent of the uniform once worn by Tsar Nicholas II. Number 8 on the list of memorable and iconic suits were the suits worn by the Beatles on their iconic album cover, Abbey Road. The suits were cut by Edward Sexton, who at the time was working alongside Tommy Nutter at Nutters of Savile Row. 3 of the 4 Beatles wore suits produced under the Nutters of Savile Row brand. Number 7 on the list is another Tommy Nutter and Edward Sexton suit, this time produced for another rock and roll legend, Mick Jagger. During his 1971 wedding in Saint-Tropez, Mick Jagger famously wore a garbling suit. The wide lapels, emphasis on strong structured shoulders, and bell-bottom trousers were the key distinguishing features of the Nutter design. This 70s era rock and roll style is championed by Edward Sexton and is very much alive today within his own personal range of suits. Number 6 on my list of the most iconic suits is the famous check suit worn by Ringo Starr, designed by Tommy Nutter in 1970. The suit features wide shawl lapels with contrasting check detailing on the edges and pagoda shoulders. The waistcoat and trousers correspond with a contrasting detail on the edge of the lapels. Decades later, a replica suit was produced which was featured on a stamp collection for Royal Mail, celebrating the designs, achievement, and innovations of British fashion designers. Number 5 on my list is Evening Tails, produced for Fred Astaire for his 1935 film Top Hat. The tailcoat was made by Kilgore French and Stanbury and had included a number of special details and modifications that had allowed Fred to dance freely and comfortably while still looking stylish. Many other Hollywood celebrities took note of this and became instant clients of Kilgore French and Stanbury. Number 4 on my list are the double-breasted suits worn by King Charles III during his time as the Prince of Wales. The 6x2 double-breasted suit formed part of the then Prince's signature look. The suits were made by Anderson & Shepherd and featured large sweeping peak lapels, jetted pockets and double vents. Anderson & Shepherd is said to have invented the famous drape cut, a type of soft tailoring with minimal padding and emphasis on freedom of movement and comfort. Number 3 on my list is a chalk stripe flannel suit worn by wartime British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. The suit was originally made in 1936 from fabric supplied by Fox Brothers, but was made famous when the iconic picture was taken in 1940 of Winston Churchill holding a submachine gun with his trademark bow tie and cigar. Churchill was a frequent visitor of Henry Paul, but was said to have left in disgust when confronted about a tailoring bill reportedly worth £12,000 in today's money. Henry Paul is not only known for its long list of distinguished and elite clients, it is said to have invented a dinner jacket, the predecessor to the modern-day tuxedo, at the request of King Edward VII. Number 2 is the mess suit worn by Princess Diana, produced by Jeeves and Hawkes whilst attending a regimental dinner in 1990. Widely known as the People's Princess, Diana was able to touch the hearts of the people she met, but also captured the attention of the world's media with her effortless style, elegance and sex appeal. Her ability to pull off androgynous style but at the same time look chic was widely celebrated. Finally, for the number 1 spot on my list of the most iconic and memorable garments to have been produced on Savile Row is the Privy Council uniform worn by Michael Jackson for his Bad Tour of 1988. Jeeves and Hawkes, based at number 1 Savile Row, has a long and illustrious history of producing military and ceremonial uniforms spanning more than 2 centuries. Throughout the years, Jeeves and Hawkes held 3 royal warrants from the late Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh and the Prince of Wales. The story goes that whilst driving past the Savile Row store, Michael spotted the Privy Council uniform through the shop window and had later sent one of his agents to inquire about the garment. With its extensive history and experience in both military and civilian tailoring, and an esteemed reputation of serving royals and diplomats, Jeeves and Hawkes was given the challenge of dressing the King of Pop, creating one of the most iconic and memorable garments in music history.